Hello, everyone, and welcome back to an amazing day of panels with the Rainbow Arcade in conjunction with the Queer Black Excellence Group. Hello, my name is Omega Jones, also known as the Critical Bard, and I am here with a fabulous cast of creatives, Black and queer creatives to be specific, period. So we can talk about something that's really near and dear to my heart, and that's simply being. That's being Black and being queer and being happy about being that. But before we get into the nitty and the gritties, I wanted to go around the room and have this lovely group of people introduce themselves, say who they are, what their pronouns are, and what they do. My pronouns are he, him as well. We're going to start in the way I see it on the overlay, and that's Jora.
Hi, I'm Jora. I go by any and all pronouns. I am somewhere around agender non-binary and a bisexual disabled woman streamer here on Twitch.
Let's go. Ben.
I'm Ben, or Little Legs TV on Twitch, and I'm a queer Black content creator from one of the gay capitals of the UK, Manchester. Hi, and I'm he, him, by the way. I should have said that.
I can't. Jade.
Hello, everyone. I am Jade Valkyrie. You can call me Jade. My pronouns are she, they, and I am a Black bisexual content creator who is also chronically ill.
Sin.
Hello. My pronouns are he, him, and I too am a bi and Black content creator here on Twitch.
And last but certainly not least, Joy.
Hi. Hey, it's me, Joy Infinity. My pronouns are she, her. I am a Afro Latinx, bisexual, Black streamer, gamer, content creator, and I am blessed to be here amongst all of these wonderful human beings today.
Give us all of the flavors. Yes, we're here for this.
Right, let's go.
I know.
I don't think y'all ready for this jelly. But so we're all here today because there was a two-part panel or conversation discussion with the Queer Black Excellence Group in Twin Cities. And the first part was about conversations, about having those nitty-gritty, hard conversations that we have to have as Black queer people. Why are we struggling all the time? Why does the world not care for us? Why do we have to fight so hard for ourselves to get half of the respect that we should have? And those conversations are important. We need to always have those conversations. But today, we're going to kind of bring that back and talk about something that I think people are afraid to talk about, and that's simply celebrating ourselves, celebrating that we are here, we are queer, and they ain't nothing you can do about it, point blank, period.
Man.
I'm just saying, look, most of our ancestors were dragged over here to the Americas, well, other than you know, Ben, on a slave. No shade, but dragged over on a slave ship that they did not want to be on, and yet they persevered, and we are here today. If that's not something to celebrate, then I don't know what is. Y'all literally tried to destroy us, and guess what? It didn't work. So we are going to be very excited and be proud of who we are. I wanted to open up today and just ask about your individual story, like individual just identities and how you've navigated this world right now. Like, what does it mean to be queer or Black, or what is pride? What is that for you?
Ooh, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
So pride for me has always been, for one thing, not the month of June. But aside from that, right, it's a thing, it's always been this thing of, look at all these people out here just existing without having to justify it or having to explain it or having to dress it up in a way that doesn't get them stared at or called out in ways that they don't want to be. And I think from the first of the parades I've ever went to just having friends be able to sit in the living room or sit at a restaurant and just talk about the things that they deal with on a day-to-day, like that large thing is what pride has been for me.
Yeah, I can kind of echo that. Like, pride for me, when I was very young, many years ago, it was my first experience coming here is exactly what I thought it would be. Bearing in mind, I'm still a minority within a big minority. It was hugely I was appreciative of everything that was going on. I finally felt like myself, you know. I was in a crowd full of queer people from all different backgrounds that I may never meet again, but for that particular time, it was all about celebrating each other, and it was absolutely stunning. And obviously, the more prides I went to over the years, the better it became, the more passionate I was about the LGBTQ history and the other pronouns, apologies. But it's such a beautiful place to be in. It is a beautiful place to be in. It's a shame that we just have to look just a little bit deeper to find our home within it, you know? It is a shame, but it's something we are working on right now. This is what this is for. Are you listening?
Yeah, and I think like pride for me is honestly such a complex subject, especially from the standpoint of, you know, being raised in a Black household. I'm sure a lot of you know what I mean. It's just, it can be really hard growing up and, you know, trying to hide the fact that you were watching South of Nowhere in the living room, and then your dad's like, why are there two girls kissing on TV? Because it's just not normalized. And I just feel very, I feel very proud that our society has come this far. And I know that it's with the efforts of the fact that the original Pride was a protest, and, you know, it has become a celebration over time, which is wonderful and amazing. And it's helped normalize those things so that I know that you know, less and less children over time are going to grow up hearing, why are there two girls kissing on TV?
I
I
also
definitely
like
feel you.
I feel that. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, me too, Jora. I definitely feel you on that. That's why personally for me, Pride is kind of like my online community and like my online fandom, especially when I was younger, just finding out my identity. I was on Tumblr all the time. And I eventually went into y'all know what I'm talking about, those Tumblr days. So
I was on Tumblr way too long.
I logged in yesterday. It's crazy. And I was like, this is just the same as it was like 8 years ago, but I'm digging it. But most of us have moved on to
Tumblr, I
Twitter
wouldn't have
now.
known about Dustiel or Putin. I'm just saying, Tumblr.
True. And then Supernatural ended, so I feel like Tumblr should end now. It's just, but yeah, that's what I feel. It's like the online community, just in case like our families, especially I also grew up in like a Black Southern Baptist household, so really finding myself to get out of that, maybe not physically, but at least online, has helped a whole lot.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to tap in on what both of y'all just said. Born and raised in Jersey, so Jersey all day. Growing up in a Black household that was also Baptist, it was hard, mostly because I've been authentically myself the whole time. I didn't have a come out of the closet phase. I just been Joy, but I didn't feel pride about being myself until I really had that conversation when I was 25, 26. And then when I finally told my friends, hey, I have a girlfriend now, then it was like, oh, that's just Joy. Like, so it just, that pride is when it really kicked in. Like, it wasn't just I had to be in a particular category, or I had to make sure that I checked these boxes, and didn't know what gay bi looked like until I saw myself in the mirror, and I was like, oh my God, it could be literally anything and anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And then also joining people, that pride, it wasn't just me by myself. It was literally finding people on the internet, finding groups on the internet, AKA Black Girl Gamers as well. I found them, and I thank them deeply. And you all are here, Rainbow Arcade. It helped me and helped everyone here. So pride is wonderful.
Pride is such an interesting thing to me specifically because of, especially as kids, I remember being in high school, and I mean, even before high school, I was kissing boys in the bathroom. I knew I was a homosexual very young.
I knew we'd met before. I knew we met before.
Right? Oh my God. And their name
Good
was
to see you
Ben.
again.
Oh.
But with that, like, I knew what I was, but I didn't know how to like express it and what it meant. And I didn't know the names, the terminologies, anything like that. But I remember back in high school when I was a part of my, what was it name? Gay Straight Alliance, which was a weird name because there's so much more than gay and straight. But neither here or there. I was part of the Gay Straight Alliance, GSA. and we went to a convention. And I was just surrounded by so many other queer high schoolers who didn't fit in at their respective schools, but all together we can just be like, yes, we're here. Oh my God. And I remember I had on a white, dingy white shirt that had like rainbow peoples on it. And then I took these white, blue jeans and I used Sharpies to put Rainbow Pride on these jeans. I could not be told I was wrong.
Wow.
So shout out to the days that you were just like, you know something, we're going to make this a whole art project.
Yeah.
Truly did. And my mother's like, well, I hope that, you know, you have a good time. Looking at me like, why are you doing this? You look like a rainbow Smurf now. But it's still like past all the theatrics of it, Pride in that sense was about unity and coming together and just being happy about existing in a way that you couldn't do back at your schools or whether your colleges or whatever that is. And it's so interesting because as someone said, Pride started as a protest, y'all. When y'all want to act like cops should be marching in Pride parades, no, they should not. So let's kind of talk about that for a second. How do you think Pride has been shaped since like Stonewall to now? Because it's definitely become different. It's become a different entity. Whether that's good or bad it's for individuals to decide. But I think it's become something so much more, but still encompassing what it meant in the beginning. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I really liked a lot of the places that they touched on it in the movie that you lovely individuals just watched. I think that Pride starting as a protest is something that we need to not forget. I think it often does get brushed over and slips through the cracks, and people, you know, think of Pride as, you know, like, oh my God, Target has rainbow stuff now, which is like really fun and exciting to be seeing ourselves represented in media. And I actually just like was tearing up at like a yogurt commercial because they had like, oh my God.
It's a yogurt.
Like that, we're like dining on table scraps, like, this is delicious, and it's not delicious. I think that it's still really important that we did come from that place of such like hurt and that place of scrapping and fighting to this more comfortable place of we need to be represented better, but we're being represented. And like that is amazing. And the fact is that I don't think anybody who was involved in the original Pride protests knew exactly the journey that was going to take us on as a community. I don't think they knew that it was going to become people waving rainbow flags in the streets and parents putting, you know, proud parent on the back of their t-shirts. Like, I really don't think that they could have even foreseen how that was going to go. And so while it is important to recognize that like there are a lot more impacts of the history of Pride, and there has been a lot of not gatekeeping, but the community has definitely like been marketed to specifically towards like cis white gay men, and so I think that it is important that we recognize the roots and important that we like try to educate ourselves and each other about that and honor that every year, honor that every day. But I think that we do need to stop and like let ourselves be happy about the victories of where we have gotten to, and like being able to wear a rainbow flag in the street and not know for sure that you're going to go to jail. Like, I think that's important in and of itself. I think that they're both very important things.
I'm someone who didn't go to any Pride anything until 2017. So I'm still I was kind of new about it, especially because I didn't really know that. Okay, good. I didn't want to make sure that I wasn't just the only newbie. So it was.
No, wait, I'm right here with you. I see you.
Okay, thank you. Because
Yeah,
I was like,
the
right. So it's kind of like we haven't seen it all because I personally didn't think it was something that I should even go to because I didn't think I was going to be represented. But now that I did go there with someone and then go there with friends, I do see the dichotomy or whatever the particular word is, where it's like, in one sense, this is straight up like capitalism with all of the ads and all of the marketing and all of the this and the that. But then also at the same time, I'm like, there are literally every being on planet Earth that's here, and they're happy and they're celebrating and they're holding hands. And I know that if my parents saw me and I was doing this maybe 5 years ago, it would have been like, we don't know that child. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, it's really quick, just to jump in real quickly, because that's a really important point. At the end of the day, we live in a society where money rules. You don't want to admit that, that's on you, but it does. So in everything they do, they will try to market it to you. So when you see like Absolute Vodka and all these things supporting these companies, they're not just doing it to be like, oh my God, we love gay people. They're like, I want them coins too.
we
I
spend
want
money.
that gay money.
We got money.
And like at a certain point though, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, hot take, there's no ethical consumption under capitalism. But I just, at a certain point, like after you see all of these straight couples on TV, every kiss begins with K. All right.
Oh, my dinner.
Can I be marketed to? Like at a certain point, it's like, do I not have green money? My money is green.
The best part of waking up.
No, not the full
What's in your cup, but
Not wrong,
No,
though.
not the full drink.
I didn't want to cut you off, Joy. I just wanted to say that because that is important. It's like, yeah, they're going to keep marketing us, and I'm happy they're doing it, but we all know why they're doing it. But also, we're going to use that because, again, we're still being marketed to. Finally,
like, if I can just kind of like not make too fine a point of it, but I think that's important. Of like, the marketing is happening, and clearly companies have seen places where like, hey, if we throw money at them, or if we sponsor events for things or whatever, that's good for us on a business level. And I think it's having to remember that while that stuff is happening, that is not what these events are for.
keep talking, but you're frozen.
Oh no, please do not do this. Not
this.
today. Not like this.
Not like this.
But on a real, like this is here for us, not for them. And even if them being here benefits us in one way or another, we need to still be here for us at the end of this, because at some point those sponsorships are going to do whatever they're going to do, and we're still going to be here in the same skin and having to go back home and back to the office and deal with that one coworker who decided that they wanted to cater Chick-fil-A to the office.
Oh God.
It ain't even that good.
I'm not even from the States, but I know
will
how
die
bad
on
this
that
is.
hill.
What?
I just want milkshakes.
I mean,
Period.
Not
It's just-
Chick-fil-A.
yeah,
I don't.
If
So-
you want chicken.
I see,
Oh.
off the back of what you just
Popeyes.
said,
Did you say Popeyes? I was just trying to see if you said Popeyes because their chicken sandwich it does live up to the hype.
I mean,
I had it.
I like they get honorable mention because I was just kind of like, oh, look at all these other places. And of course, me with my very melanated self is just kind of like, okay, we know where the quality chicken is, and this is not it. I'm just gonna go ahead and migrate real quick.
Thank you.
so just to like slide away from food because I'm still full from before I could eat right now. A lot of what you're talking about, I get on board with it. I understand that businesses as a whole will try and market off the back of us queer people, and I think we've been very fortunate being in one of the gay capitals again, that is Manchester, and it happens in Birmingham too. They recognize queer all year round because we are a capital. They constantly support us. There are more get-togethers. In fact, one of the groups that I'm actually a part of that we've not been able to meet is a group called Rainbow Noir, which is a Black queer collective, all different backgrounds, obviously. And we actually reach out to businesses, and we used to get together and just chill and talk about what it was to be Black and how these businesses, we can reach out to these businesses and tell them why they should support us, realize. And I tell you, you walk around this city and you will still see these flags. And I hate to say the Black, Asian, and minority ethnic because it's not described as that, but the flag you will see, with all the colors, will be up there. They will have leaflets, pamphlets about absolutely everything when it comes to the Black queer community and the queer community as a whole in general. And it's beautiful to see. It's a shame that some of the businesses that do want to make money for us disappear, but that doesn't go unnoticed in this city. Manchester is like no other, I tell you. If you could just witness for 5 seconds what happens when them businesses are like, we're going to take down these flags now, they lose money more than they gain it. Trust me, they lose it.
Wow.
So when are you guys opening? When are you guys opening your borders? I want to move.
Big facts. We're trying to get this Covfefe out of here. Please.
You're welcome, I guess, anytime.
It's funny you
I'll
said
say
that.
it now because we're live.
Not in this pandemic.
I know,
Mm.
clearly.
It's funny you said that though, really quickly, because I think back to June. You know, everyone in their mother's baby father put up a rainbow version of their logo because you know pure whites and stuff. And then literally July 1st, it was all gone. It was like, oh, y'all gladly used it just for the month that we only get, apparently, just like Blacks only get February for Black History Month. But like, why do people do that? And why do you think we're not going to see it? That's the other question. Like, I
That was
don't
masked.
understand.
That was masked for here completely because they were using this rainbow flag for the NHS to say that we support the NHS workers. So they were using the rainbow, and it was like, oh, I know you can't, you know, trademark that rainbow, but
Yes,
it's
we
known.
can. It's
Well,
out.
I know, but that's my thought too, right? But the NHS had that clap for the NHS and all this other stuff. We support you. It's like well, put and create an NHS flag. This is primarily what has been used for years for queer people, and now it's just sort of, oh, we forgot about you, but we're going to use this for this now.
Yeah.
It's not my rainbow, baby.
Yeah, I think it just comes from a fear or like I guess an ignorance of that there can be queer people having a great time and non-queer people having a great time. I guess they think that we need our month and then the rest time it's like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. Well,
We've
but, like,
satisfied them now.
yeah, we satisfied them now. It's time. We gave them all. That's fine. But we're happy all year round. But I just don't think that they'd understand or they can't fathom like celebration year round.
But
I think it's also just kind of frustrating because it disappears the same way that like BLM disappears from people's bios. People have stopped talking about the most recent Black person to have been murdered, and it's like I feel a little well, not a little, I feel incredibly frustrated. I'm so sorry, my dryer has the loudest noise in the world. But I think that when companies put, you know, they suddenly make their icon, their user profile, what are the words, the logo,
Avatar?
when they make their logo rainbow, and then you see like the companies that they're investing in that have done horrible things to gay or Black communities, or if you look into like, you know, their transgender bathroom policies at their workplace, it's like they want to put the rainbow aesthetic on and be like, we stand with gay people, buy our products. And then you look into like how they actually treat their gay employees, or like the policies and the politics that they play into and that they support, and it's like, why would you even put the rainbow on your profile in the beginning? Like, why would you even put BLM in your bio if you're not actually for us, if you're not actually donating to charities and helping your employees and writing better policies?
And point of intersection here, can we also not with the people who go, well, okay, we're cool with the gay people, so I guess, you know, because it's their month, we don't have to do as much for the Black people either. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I have to be that for the whole year at all times, all the time. And by the way, I look wonderful while doing it, but I'm gonna need y'all to get that together.
Well, your hair shall look great right now.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, this isn't a season like Halloween or like Christmas and stuff where it's like it comes all year round. People are Black all year round. Heck, oh my gosh, some people are queer and Black all year round.
Oh my, the audacity.
God.
Are you serious?
Egads. I didn't know that was a thing. Must be
That
a
can
local.
happen?
Did you see that on Wikipedia?
But
Talk about like the guilt that comes with privilege that makes people do these things where they think like, I have to be doing something good for some community all of the time. What's the theme of the month? Like, I guess, you know, to assuage my white guilt, I will put BLM in my bio, but next month it's for the gays, so I'll make it rainbow. Like, it really, sometimes it feels so performative when it's like this girl that actually is a streamer. I'm not going to name names, but there's a girl that I was close with, and she, I know for a fact, has said incredibly racist things, and I'm not friends with her anymore because of that. And then I look at her Twitter, and it's all Black Lives Matter, and it's like, did you ever like actually check the way that you think about Black people before switching and pretending like you support us? I'm going to need apologies. I'm going to need you to actually educate yourself about why it's not okay to say the things that you're saying.
And I'm also going to need you to delete your account.
But no, but all those things are really important to talk about, which, because it's a good segue into the next topic. I still want to make sure we're keeping it in the, let's say it like this. A good friend of ours that we all love, and they are a wonderful team leader in the Rainbow Arcade. I'm calling you out. Don't hate me. Cypher of Tier, aka Tanya, says something very clear that I think everyone needs to hear. Don't be an ally. Be an accomplice. Don't just act like and say, "Hey, I'm with you. I'm an ally." Show us the work. Show us that you actually are there. And in the video that we saw before this, they said, "Don't be an ally. Be an advocate." I want you all to kind of touch on that for a second. Like, because in celebrating who we are, you can't just be on our side when stuff's going down the drain. When during Pride Month or during all months, or if someone's just doing something that they're excited about, especially queer Black people, lift us up in those moments too. Like, let's talk about that for a second.
So we're talking about this whole thing of being an ally or being an accomplice. Can I just add the qualifier off screen? Let me just add the qualifier off screen. Like, y'all, listen, if you had a difficult conversation with your coworker and called out their racism, you do not need to write me a report about it. If you drag somebody for being disrespectful in the way that they were jumping to conclusions or jumping into someone's mentions or DMs on some disrespect, and you had to educate them about that, you do not have to report that to me. You do not have to bring me a receipt. You don't have to bring me a letter. Like, we're not here to issue you approval. If you're going to do this accomplice thing, this allyship thing, whatever this stuff is, you have to do it without trying to accumulate some kind of clout or points or rapport for you to use for whatever it is that you want to use it for. Like, not being racist doesn't come with like a get something free coupon.
Amen.
I'm wordplay garbage because I'm a writer, and so let's just add some more like acts in there. Like, I think that people want to be accredited for being an ally without being accountable for the things that they've done when they weren't being a good ally. And it's like,
Bars.
I am just not going to accept you if you're not actually taking accountability for the things that you've done to hurt me. And I see all the time these YouTube videos upon YouTube videos talking about something a problematic creator has done and saying, well, just to preface, I don't believe in cancel culture. First of all, I don't believe in cancel culture. That's not even real. Cancel culture is not a thing. People have been holding each other accountable for their bad behaviors based upon whether or not they like them for all of human history. That's just how humanity works. And nobody is entitled to your time, to your money. Nobody is entitled to your forgiveness, even if they apologize. Apologize because you feel bad about what you did, not because you want forgiveness, not because you think that you deserve for your supporters to come back from your cancellation. Like, it's buck wild because people won't even apologize about stuff and be like, it was 10 years ago. And it's like, did you ever say sorry? Did you ever?
That's something that I keep seeing where we really, I say we because we can do it to ourselves as well, but we don't have as much as a sense of empathy for others. And it's hard because I grew up where I didn't have to understand. I'll say this in terms of growing up in school. I've learned other people's histories. You learn that mostly in school. And I had this particular event that has happened. It made me think I was that ethnic background because it was drilled into my head how much their history has changed that particular ethnic background's life. And I learned empathy from a child. So I don't have to necessarily be of you to understand that pain is universal, that joy is universal, that we all have feelings, we all have emotion. So for the lack of empathy that people have, and especially with the way that they're using the Lord Jesus, whatever, internet, the way they're using this internet is like ridiculous. It needs to stop. And I'm glad that we're holding people accountable, but also I'm trying to make sure that we do use it to celebrate our, actual authentic joy and being who we are. And this is that
100%.
these days as an adult now.
100. And like for me, the whole ally versus accomplice thing, if you're my accomplice, like we're doing gay shit together. Like we might not be in a relationship, but we're gonna make some straight people very, very uncomfortable. Like for example, I'm bisexual and my partner right now is a man. So a lot of times people are like, aha, straight woman. And I'm like, no. So yeah, so like when I do like cosplay shoots and stuff, I'll be like, you know what would be really, really cool? It'd be dope if I could cosplay Black Canary and with my friend it was Zatanna, and then we just do gay shit. And like it's just good to like have that feeling of like I am not bound by what people think that I am. I can do whatever I want. And like and these are straight women, then they're like, yes, let's do it. It's amazing. Yes. And so those are my accomplices. They're the people who are like, yes, you can do what you want. Oh my gosh, I can see part of my like face in like a different area for 2 seconds.
Legit.
Like,
oh no,
my face is like in 2 squares right there. That was hilarious. But like the accomplices are like, I feel like they're like our hype people. Like, I just want to go out with my friends and do some gay shit. So
Yeah.
Seriously, clothes shopping, sit together with your friends and watch Pose.
yes.
I think we need to still remember, like, it's very important to recognize when those allies when we see the flip of those allies becoming the accomplices. That's very, very important. Trust me, I've had friends for years, bearing in mind I've been on this earth for quite a long time. And the stuff I used to go through from when I was a kid with those people, the apologies and the sincere apologies that I've had from them that now stand by my side, that also now, because I'm of that age, they have their own children, that they're asking me for help because their sons, daughters, bearing in mind that these were all white women that like black men, so they would ask me, they're all like, asking, what do I do? They're all coming out, well, not all coming out, but they've got questions what it is to be black and what it is to be in this queer bubble. And it's through that, again, I know we were talking about allies and accomplices. We've grown together, all of us collectively now, and it's beautiful to be a part of something like that. It is possible to make that switch, and it's not because they had children, it's because they grew and learned. Because UK is a very small place, and it's one of the most cultured places in such a tiny little box. It really is. You either learn or you get kicked out, and that sounds, and that's not deportation or anything like that. You learn or you get kicked out. You're not welcome if you are not inclusive here in the UK. But it is still incredibly racist. But we'll get to that topic another time.
We are, but I also want to say, because you said something, and I want to, I kind of want to clarify, and I don't want to speak over you, but I want to clarify something. I will always be there, and I always believe in, once you see that switch from ally to accomplice, actually being in my corner, then yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you. However, you won't get a cookie for doing so, because that's just what you should have been doing from the jump.
No, for sure.
By suffering, once you finally figure out that I'm suffering, I'm not going to pat you on the back for it. Now you need to work harder, because now I'm aware that you're aware that you know. So now if you backslide, it's an extra problem.
Also to like go a little bit back to what Joy was talking about with empathy. Like, I don't need to be in your experience to empathize with your experience. Like, I think that it's important that we remember that within our own community as well, and like that we remember to be each other's allies and accomplices, because I've just seen so much gatekeeping. Especially, it feels like recently it's coming to a head, and a lot of like popular creators are being called out for their either transphobic rhetoric, biphobic rhetoric, or not like people people saying that non-binary people don't belong in the trans community or that ace people are not LGBT. It's like, we have so much going on from outside of our community. We need to like join together and lift each other up like as often as possible with as much like love and joy about it and pride in each other. And like my best friend is Ace, and I'm bi, and we just like vibe on that level of like nobody thinks we're really in the community. And it's like, you know,
according to the government, I don't exist.
Yeah, we're not I'm non-binary, I'm bisexual. She's actually biromantic, asexual. And so it's just kind of like we've both like had that like opposite ends of the spectrum experience of you're not really gay, you're not really queer. And it's like and so I think that we just need to remember that like other people's experiences are going to be so vastly different than our own. And like, you know, people are going to have their own opinions about gender and about, you know, like terminologies and things like that. But we have to keep an open mind and we have to talk to each other. I had a really great conversation yesterday with someone about like trans identities and gatekeeping. And like, I just think that having those open conversations and like expressing that like we are allies, we are accomplices within the community as a whole is like the first step to like getting us all on the same level of pride and joy.
I agreed on that. I'm going to take that to segue into something that I really want to speak on before we run out of time, because again, we are 6 Black queer folk who can talk all day, period.
All right.
But
I got 100 bi jokes just for this panel.
I am ready.
I want
I'm
to
standing by.
I want to say a quote from, if those don't know, I hosted a Black AF Roundtable series, which was a group of Black creators within the tabletop and gaming community talk about the realities of racism within that community. Because trust me, it's a lot. But someone by the name of Christina Ariel, who I love to death, said this.
Yes, Christina.
And, yes, and this was so poignant, and I had to tweak the wording because a little more swears in her version of it. But she says this, be that effing anxious about our joy. Give us the space to feel joy. Black boy joy, Black girl magic, give us that space. Support us on our cosplays, support us on our streams, or in anything we share in the same way you do when you say racism. And what that meant was, don't just support our sorrow, support our joy. So what I want to ask y'all is, why is it important to support our joy and not just our sorrow? Why is it important to be there for us, to lift us up, not just when we're down, but when we're already there?
Because it gives us validity. Like I didn't see me until I saw me in the mirror, like for real, that I could look like this and I can be like this. Because a lot of the time, I grew up as a child, like, well, first of all, I grew up being told I wasn't Black enough. And then I grew up being told that I was too smart. I know we all know that. We all know that. So I had to realize that all of the things that those demons outside were telling me that were my weaknesses, someone told me I was too happy. Like, what? How can I what? So I was like, once I realized that the stuff
Jealousy ain't the way.
I know. So that's why when I'm like, literally all the things that I was told my entire life that were my weaknesses was really my light all along. And that people that were trying to tell me that were being punched because they were like, you can't tell the girl that she's good. You have to tell her that she's bad. That way she has to fall into whatever society wants me to be, which is to be miserable and not to know who I am on the inside and not be proud of myself. So I have to be who I authentically am. Then I had to find the tribe of who you all are to realize that it is perfectly fine to be me. Then to realize I have ears and I love music and I'm blessed to have hearing, and I can see people like Janelle Monáe being a free ass MFer and being like, oh, this is right. Everything I learned in church is like sus, very sus, do my own thing. So that's why we have to celebrate who we are, because if we don't know who we are, how can we expect other people to celebrate us when literally we are Black culture? We literally run the train on what's cool. What?
I'm going to jump in with this
Go
one
ahead.
here. I'm going to jump in with this one here because it took me till my 30s. I'm 33 now. It took me
Same.
till I was 30 to realize who I am as a Black person. Bearing in mind, like I grew up in a white family. I grew up with a white cis gay community, moved to the gay capital, as I've mentioned already. But what was so surreal to me is that I was imitating white people who were imitating Black culture.
Oh no.
Which was weird to me, and this is problematic. It's weird to me, and it was only until I was 30, and when I met, and I can name all of them, but I won't do for doxing purposes. But my Black friends, it shifted. I didn't want to be like them because I was already Black, and like I'm not to say I'm discrediting white folk. It's not everybody, but they were taking from Black culture, and I was imitating them, imitating my own. It was so surreal, so surreal. Like I said, now my Black friends, it is just us. There's none of this. You'll notice straight away if anybody from the UK starts talking to you as a Black person, you'll get this weird American accent because they're mimicking it from Black cultural television shows. And it's like, we're not actually like that. We are just a collective of, you can talk to me normal. You don't have to throw the girl or whatever in there. Just talk to me. Talk to me.
I'm
I
gonna
just
say,
happen to be blessed. You know?
I'm gonna say real quick, and a lot of the cis white gays in chat or the cis white queer folk in chat not gonna like me for saying this.
Love
but
you.
like, I need y'all to understand that when you over there saying like Yas Queen and work and slay and death drop, it's not a death drop, it's a dip. Look please understand that you are stealing from Black, queer, trans, and gay folk. Like, something period.
Can we talk about tea? Like, can white people just say
Ooh,
gossip?
tea and shade.
Can white people just say gossip? Like, I just.
Excuse me, my Animal Crossing just texted me.
Please.
It's gotten to the point where, like, I'm getting triggered by AAVE. Like, I'm getting.
Well, because it is Abe. It is 100% AAVE, and people just need to understand that it is AAVE within the gay and trans Black and Latinx cultures, but like it's still what it is. So like, I guess not to derail that, because please stop saying, please stop. And again, it's not a death drop. It's not a death drop. It's not a shablam.
Thank you.
It's not point blank.
And there's a Twitter account somewhere that's just like AAV fails if you just like want to have a good laugh. Or
I mean,
like,
coming up
you don't know what
next.
child means.
I was gonna mention child because I'd be like child, and they're like, no, child, that's chili. I'm like, are you serious?
That's Chile.
Chile.
Now can I
So
just-
wait, when did South America come into this conversation? No, we're not talking about that. But
Like, real quick, can we just talk about how ridiculous it is that people have said that "bay" means before everything
No,
Before
we're leaving
No.
the chat.
all else or something? I'm like,
Before
it's
anyone else,
just
yes.
We're leaving.
babe. It's just a short version of saying babe. What is wrong with you?
Oh, God.
so
Anywho,
What a moment.
Yeah.
in supporting Joy, you know something? It's well, there are two things here. And I'll try not to be too long with this, but the first thing is, y'all, the only time I'm here and you want to like share the things that I've decided to write or to make or whatever, like when we're talking about pain and we're talking about sorrow, I'm not here just for you to weaponize me when it's like cool to have like the spicy take that you want to like tape back to your friends or talk about or discuss or whatever. Like I have whole things I am laughing about or that I'm enjoying or that I'm looking forward to. And when I share those things, the response shouldn't be silence. That shouldn't be a whole thing. If Critical Bard tells you, hey, I made partner today, there should be just as many likes and retweets on that as when he has to go, well, let me go ahead and drag this person for filth real quick. When someone announces their Patreon, their rebrand, the fact that they got a PhD, just became a lawyer, just became a parent, just bought a house, just got, a promotion at a job, like there should be no reason for the amount of silence that we get. And honestly, that doesn't say anything about the Twitter algorithm. If we want to keep this real for a second, this isn't about the algorithm. This is about you, because y'all just do not check for us unless we're miserable.
mm-hmm.
A word.
Can you
And
hear
we're
that?
going
The
to
harmonies.
we're going to get into that. Learn to check for these Black people and queer people and everyone else around you who are living their everyday lives, period, and in general, not just when we're out here writing you like the third Medium article for this month, not when we're in the 17 tweet long thread about why y'all aren't supporting people and like the other ways that you have just made this world impossible for us to exist in without us having to be angry about it.
Well, and so I think one of the problems with like what perpetuates this issue of people only really seeming to come out of the woodworks when, you know, something horrible happens or when you're sad. I think that the media, as a theater person and writer and all of that, I'm always thinking about like the media impact on, you know, culture in general and on people and our psyches. And the fact is that if you look at the major like the movies and TV shows and things like that, if you were to ask a straight person, like, name a gay movie, they might probably say Brokeback Mountain. They might say Moonlight. I don't think that they would say Debs, the cute lesbian spy cheerleader movie that I love with all of my heart. They're not gonna say like any of the movies that I love, like P.S. I Love You. They're not, or not P.S. I Love You. What's it?
I know it.
Imagine Me and You. They're not going to mention Imagine Me and You. They're not going to mention any of those movies where there's, you know, a happy ending for the queer couple or, you know, especially with like Black queer couples, it feels like there is no representation out there for just a happy relationship. It feels like there's barely any content out there where it doesn't turn into a bury your gaze. I mean, like, spoiler alert, if you've been alive, you know about the Dusty L thing. Like, that bury your gaze thing is a problem. But the issue of the biggest issue is the empathy thing that we were talking about before, with the fact that I'm going to watch The 100, see them kill the main, like the only little Black boy on the show. They're going to kill him. And I'm going to go, nah, not for me. And I'm going to turn it off. And then 2 months later, I hear the entire internet exploded because they killed their lesbian character. Like, are you kidding me? Where was this energy when they killed the Black boy? In the most violent way and out of nowhere for no reason. Like, where was that energy? I think that we need a lot more people like uplifting like our stories that enjoy involve comedy, and where like the character's entire like arc and you know problem that they're trying to overcome isn't the fact that they're gay. Isn't the fact that they're trying to come out and that people aren't accepting them. Can we just have a romantic comedy about gays, please? Can we have a romantic comedy about Black gays, please?
Yes.
That's why I think that, and that's why I am so excited and I'm so happy to be who I am right now and have the media that is coming out right now, because like on Netflix there's Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts, and there's She-Ra, and those are two very diverse, very queer, and they're just like, it's never mentioned like, oh my god, Katra, are you Black? No, she just is. And then and Kipo, she's half Black, she's half Korean and a jaguar maybe, and there are people who are queer in that, and like it's not like a matter jaguar of them being she's a mega jaguar, and it's like it's just there's these kids shows that already know how to make that framework and make it entertaining and make it like great and enjoyable for everybody.
Plus, even Benson, like literally,
Benson.
I was like Benson, like I was watching that with my girlfriend, and she watched it ahead of me, and well, shout out to Bibi, but she was like, "There's someone gay in it, Joy. Just watch it with me." And then when it happened, I was just like, "Oh my god, it's him! Oh my god, it's normal! Oh my god, it's been normal! Like what?" And
they talk about it,
powerful.
And it's not that big of a deal, because in reality it shouldn't be, because that's the difference. That's another, going back to it, that's another difference between ally and accomplice. Allies are just be like, okay, do you need anything? Are you okay? Are you okay? And then accomplices are like, yeah, let's do it. We're hype. But like they're here for the happy and the sad.
And accomplices will also call out the issues that they're seeing in the media they're watching. Like, an accomplice wouldn't have kept watching The 100 after that An accomplice is, my friend, my best friend, she's always been like down for the struggle. If there's a show that we're watching and she's like, oh my God, they like murdered this Black guy in the worst way, like I'll be like, thank you, I'm not gonna watch it. And like they will point those things out. But I think a lot of allies are not actually paying attention, and it's not their fault that they're not noticing these things that they haven't been trained to notice, whereas our whole lives we've been bombarded with Black sorrow and Black death. But like if you look at even shows that are super popular for showing like queer joy, like Wynonna Earp or Lost Girl, both by Emily Andress, I love her, but she has a problem with creating like Black ex-girlfriends and then murdering them. Like this has happened like 3 times, and then she murdered her like Black character on another show, and it's just like, what? No one is noticing all these Black people just straight dying all the time.
But then is she Black? The lady that makes those things?
She's not.
So
that's the problem.
That's what I'm saying.
Big
It's like,
facts.
so if she didn't notice in making it, at least I don't assume there was negative intent. I don't assume she meant to do that on purpose.
But she knows it's popular.
Over life, she still did it. So it's such an oversight. She still did it. But to me, it's like, how is no one else in the fandom noticing this? How
Because
is
they don't care.
So I'm gonna hop in real quick. We can talk about this all day. I know it. I feel bad cutting you off.
I was like,
I
no.
feel real bad cutting you off. I know y'all going in. That just means part 2.
And I did see someone was saying, I know there are people in it, but like I'll say because I've never seen anything that you just mentioned, but Schitt's Creek was the show for me that was like, yes, David, like literally normal. Like that's the type of normal I'm talking about, but just put Black people in that too. More
Right.
Black people. That's all.
Yes, agreed.
So what I have to do right now, because unfortunately we have less than 10 minutes left in this panel. I know it's sad. What I want to do is I'm gonna take each of you get about like a minute, really quickly, to say I like to leave things with actionable items. I want things that people can take away in some way, shape, or form. So for you all, and I'm gonna go in the order I see you on the screen. What is a piece of advice, a piece of free advice you can give to the people in this chat right now about supporting Black and queer folk in some way, shape, or form? What do you say? We're gonna start with Jorah.
Oh God, there's a lot, but I'm just gonna go with please don't use your friends as Google. Please just. The education is out there. If you are looking to learn about Black issues, if you're looking to learn about queer issues, if you want to be an accomplice instead of an ally, then you will go out and you will do that work. You will do that research. There's plenty of people out there who have written in-depth like dissertations on the reason why, XYZ thing is racist, or like, things you shouldn't say. Like the information's out there if you're looking for it. So to sit there and ask your Black friends, like, hey, why was this thing a problem? Why did you not like that? Like, consider Googling it first. And then if you have more questions, follow up and say, like, I looked this up and I want to learn about these things and I want to support you. And then they can explain how they feel about the issue, because Black people and queer people are not a monolith. But just do some of the legwork yourself before, like, expecting every Black person in your life or every queer person in your life to be like your personal dictionary or your personal Google, especially when it comes to things like trauma and, things that are really difficult to talk about. You don't know how already emotionally exhausted that person might be about the like 5th Black man being killed that month. Like you don't need to go to your Black friends and be like, so what do you think about that? Like, please just have some empathy for the fact that we are going through it a lot of the time, and the information is out there. So Google is free.
Period. Ben?
I'm going to keep it short, very short, because Jorah, you covered it pretty much. We are not here to educate you. We're already going through it. It's your opportunity to just learn. And by all means, I'm willing. You're gonna hear a huge sigh from me if you ask me the question, and I will tell you. But do not ask me a second time. Do not ask me a third time. It's all out there for you. Go and take the initiative. Get on Google, learn, see, read what's going on out in the news. It's all there for you. Hard to miss. Don't be blind. Don't be silly. Oh, and we'll swore. Whoops. And that's all. That's all from me.
Jade?
For me, and for my advice would be, especially as someone who works in social media professionally, is that put your time where your mouth is. Support Black creators. Take the time to like, take the time to comment. If you're on Instagram, take the time to save. The engagement helps content creators be able to do the things that they want to do, to get those sponsorships, to get that visibility that they might not otherwise get because of their skin color or because of their sexuality or both. So give them that boost on their platform and support them on all posts, not just the messy ones, but the cool ones too. Any post, then that's true support for your creatives.
Sin?
We got 2 points to cover today. So the first thing, y'all can still hear me, right?
Yes, you're just
Okay.
so frustrated.
So, run them coins. Let me repeat that again. Run them coins. Like, people are out here as a whole human being that are qualified as professionals, not just Black professionals, not just queer and Black professionals, but just whole professionals, period. They have skills and stuff. And if you ask them to employ them for any reason, an invoice should follow. We invoicing y'all for the rest of your lives and your back taxes. So that's the first thing. The second thing would be when you see situations where you can make a little bit of room for someone else, especially in these marginalized groups, especially for your Black queer friends, do that. Like when you have these, hey, I know people who are qualified for this, and here they are in all of their melanin. Please present them. Please speak up for them. Please put those people forward. There's literally not a reason for you not to. And if you don't know any, Google is free. Once again, we have informed you of that. Go handle up.
And Joy?
Wow, y'all took it. My God. So like everyone has said, the Googles and the YouTubes, the Google is the free. YouTube, I ain't paying them because they don't pay me enough. So definitely please support anyone of color, like support us like you would support anybody that you already think is worth it. Support us with your energy, support us with your feelings, support us with the wallet, the monies, because we do got Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Zelle. We got the things. So it's not like you ain't got options. It's out here. And I personally, I'm a Taurus, so I'm pretty chill, but like I don't really like competition. And we're out here, like we're out here. There's so many of us that it's not like we have to be in a battle royale where you have to be like, well, I can only like one of you. I can only like one trans person of color, and that's the only person I'm supporting. There are dozens of us. And why can't you have space in your heart or space in your mind? The human brain.
Space in your bank account.
Or space in your bank account. We are more powerful than what we perceive ourselves to be. So we really just need to uplift each other up and just honestly make the space, because space is infinite. Like Joy Infinity. So yeah, basically it.
I'm so stuck on I'm a Taurus, so I'm pretty chill.
So,
To know that Ben and I are dying because we're both Taurus and we're not chill.
So
No.
I want to thank all of you for being here. This has been amazing. Thank you, Jora. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Sin. Thank you, Joy. And hi, me as well, for being here and talking to you all. We have to end it here, but please don't go anywhere, because up next, we're going to have a panel on Twitch etiquette and LGBTQIA2+ spaces. Don't go anywhere. Thank you all so much for supporting Black people. Keep making trouble wherever you go. Love you. And bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.